Hear me, spear-famed Menelaus. Brazen Prince Paris of Troy has dared to steal your wife.
Paris of Troy must pay!
Gold-rich Mycenae, ruled by your brother Agamemnon, will support your cause.
Troy thinks to slight me, but they will pay the price.
As well as exacting vengeance upon Troy, other matters demand your attention. Open rebellion has devastated the region of Eetis, where a pretender is trying to take power for himself. South of Eetis, mighty Tiryns holds Kythera Island, blocking your access to the treasures of Crete, which are beyond imagination. Consolidate your power at home. Urge Helen's suitors to honor the oath of Tyndareus in your defense, and wage war on the perfidious Trojan princeling.
Hello, MonstersAbound, and welcome to Total War Troy. Creative Assembly have given me a few days of early access to try out a couple of the campaigns, and first up is Menelaus of Sparta.
Menelaus of Sparta.
That's exactly what I said, mate. Poor Menelaus. His wife Helen has run off with fancy man Paris of Troy, played by Orlando Bloom, and he's only got 299 muscular men dripping in baby oil to comfort him, which is a fine to do and no mistake. Actually, that Sparta comes a bit later, so he doesn't even have 299 muscular men dripping in baby oil to comfort him. It's the worst. Instead, he's run to his big brother Agamemnon and whined enough that Agamemnon has agreed that they should gather the boys, pop over to Troy, and have it out with them to get Helen back. Or maybe just capture Troy, because Troy is a bit of an economic powerhouse of the time, and Agamemnon likes the idea of having that for himself, or at least burning it to the ground so they don't have it. And if it means his idiot brother getting his floozy back, then frankly, who cares? But it's good enough reason to draw together the whole of Greece to give Troy a good kicking. So I can theoretically play up to turn 40, and this is still very much in development. Apparently the devs bust a hump to get this build to us. And there's a few bugs that they're fully aware of. You might have noticed the Ghost Man during the opening pan over there. That's they said, yeah, we know about that. It's fine. It's only for the opening pan over. After then, it's fine. So that's right. And there's a bunch of other little bits and pieces that don't work particularly kind of like as they should do. But they've either like said, no, that's fixed in the current build, or they found the problem and fixed it. There's actually a bit of an issue with some of the units being a bit slippery in battle, and it's quite easy to pull your units through another like enemy unit, or for the enemy units to pull themselves through your units, and that's apparently because it's only affecting the people who are on the sort of larger unit sizes. So basically, if I'd had a smaller unit size, I've gone for the max unit size. If it'd been a bit smaller, then wouldn't have had that problem, but they found the problem and they fixed it in the current build, so that's good. So, Total War Troy. I mean, first off, let's have a look. I mean, the campaign map is, I'm going to be honest, a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Let's get rid of these bits. Don't worry about that. It's fine. And you, Homer. Go on. Back in your box. Back in your box. So, yes, the campaign is actually a lot bigger than I thought it does. I mean, you've got all the way over here. So, there's Troy over there. It all comes down into the south of Asia Minor. There's Rhodes, and there's Crete down there. There's southern Greece, and it goes all the way up, and you can see some of this area, like the mountainous area here, isn't used. So although the map looks like huge, it's actually a little bit smaller than what it looks like, but it's still pretty big. One of the things I was a little bit worried about to start off with when I'd heard about Total War Troy is, could you just sail over and capture Troy in like turn 10? And the answer is no, because one, you'd have to travel quite far. I don't know how long it would take. I haven't tried, but it would take quite a while to get over there. There's Troy. And also, once you landed at Troy, Troy has significant, defences. Plus, of course, it's surrounded by friendly factions. In fact, Troy is one faction, and Paris and Hector are another faction. So they start nearby, allied with Troy, which means instantly you've got three factions nearby that would want to murder you as soon as you got over there. And there's also a bunch of other sort of like Trojan-friendly factions nearby. So assuming you get over there, you have to lay siege to the city. You can't attack it right away. And that, of course, gives every faction within like a few turns march ample time to come and crush you against the walls of Troy. And plus, the garrison of Troy is super elite. So you're going to need at least a couple of armies, I think, to take that. I could be. I'm sure someone's going to find a way to take it on like turn 10. But I looked at that and went, no, there's no way in hell I could do that. But the campaign itself looks amazing. I mean, it does look absolutely stunning. What a beautiful campaign map. It does look really, really nice. They've done a really good job with it. The battle maps as well look absolutely fantastic. A huge step up from even Total War 2 and Three Kingdoms, to be honest. So fantastic work there. A few people were down on the graphics to start off with. I think they're really, really nice. I think the problem is that... Yeah, exactly. I think the problem is when you look at like Total War Warhammer, where you've got things like dragons and lizard men and orcs and goblins, when you go back to just bog standard humans, it's bound to be a little bit of a letdown. But I think the unit variety they've got is actually very, very good. I've found lots of different units that you can use. There's also the mythical units. We'll get around to those in a bit. But first off, let's. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's changed for Total War Troy. It's going to feel fairly similar, to be honest. If you've played Total War games before, it's going to feel fairly similar. But the economic system has been changed wildly. And frankly, I don't think I can ever go back anymore, because we've actually got 5 different resources here. Now, we're fairly used to having sort of like gold or denarii or whatever as your primary sort of like resource. So that recruits units, it upkeeps them, it builds buildings, all that kind of stuff. Total War Troy chucked that away and said, now you've got 5 different resources. So we've got food, that's mostly for unit upkeep and creation. We've got bronze, which is basically the same, but it's sort of a lesser resource. So you've got food, your primary recruitment resource, and bronze is your lesser one. And then you've got gold, which is sort of used for both units and construction, sort of. And you've got wood, that's your primary building resource, so that's used for most buildings, and stone, which is used for a fair few buildings, wood being your primary, stone being your secondary, and some buildings also require gold as well. Now, all of these resources, apart from gold, are infinite. Basically, you just set up shop in one of these settlements here. So each settlement has like a particular type. So this one's a farming settlement, so you can get food buildings there. This one's a stone settlement, so you can get stone quarries there. This one down here is wood, so we can get wood there and all that kind of good stuff. And of course, the province capital is sort of your capital building, where you can build lots of different buildings that you can't in the minor settlements, all that kind of good stuff. Gold, however, is slightly different in that gold is a finite resource. So if you find a gold mine down here, for example, if we settled this one, we would find that there's actually a total amount of gold that we can mine from it. And once that gold's been mined out, we still get some gold, but it's a trickle. Basically, we'll get 10% of whatever the total is we can mine per turn. So if we could mine 1,000 gold a turn, we'll only get 100 instead of that 1,000. So gold being the finite resource is quite important. So grabbing those gold mines is pretty important. Anytime you see one, you kind of want to grab it. But to be honest, it's true. That's true of pretty much everything. Although I've only been able to play up to turn 40, it kind of feels like I never have enough, right? I'm always looking at what can I grab next? Like, I'm looking at food. I need more food so I can recruit more units. Is there another farming settlement nearby? Can I build another building that's going to give me more food? What do I need to build that? Oh, I need gold and I need stone. Do I have enough stone to build that? No. Well, I need to build more stuff. So it's kind of like feeds into each other, and it's a really, really good system. Like, no, really good. Like, it's great. I really like it. I really like it. So that's the. So we can have a quick look at the buildings here. So this is our stone quarry here, and we can see we've got different buildings. The buildings are sort of a type. So the buildings are fairly similar between the different resources, but obviously they give you the particular resource of that settlement. There's some payoff, so like you just get your bog standard. This is just going to give you stone, and if you have high influence, which is kind of like religion, it's kind of like the religion system, it's influence instead. If you have high influence in settlement, it's going to give you even more. So that's all pretty good. You've got one here which gives you more stone per turn, but reduces your influence, but also reduces the construction time of all buildings across the province. So could be useful early on, but then maybe you want to switch over to something else. This one over here is going to give you additional percentage across the entire province, and also faction-wide, but reduce your happiness, so you'll need something to offset that. And then this one over here just gives you a lot of the resource, but you can see the resource cost for that is very, very high, so you're going to need a lot of wood, a lot of stone, a lot of gold to actually construct that building. So again, there's quite a trade-off there. And this one down here just gives you quite a lot of resources for quite a low cost, but it also slows down the growth of the province, so you probably don't want to build that one early on. But on the other hand, you can build it early on and it doesn't cost much to do it. So if you're looking for like a quick boost in a province, then that could be an option. So you've actually got to think about it quite a bit, which I really, really like. There's a bunch of other buildings here. Temples of Dyke, for example, a feast hall. It's all very good. Some military buildings as well. Of course, your minor settlements can only go up to rank 3, so you can't build the max rank ones over there. And we've got docks here as well because it's on the coast. So all that kind of good stuff. And then the primary settlement, of course, if you have a look at here. So upgrading the core building is going to take a lot of gold and a lot of stone. So that's basically what you're going to be saving your gold for, is upgrade. So, I mean, 500 gold is quite a lot, to be honest. Gold does not come in very, very fast. So you're going to have to think long and hard before you upgrade too many of your settlements. But it does come with certain benefits. You can build things like temples. There's temples for each of the gods there, and a whole bunch of different buildings there. So it's just general recruitment cost for heroes, food storage, that's recruitment cost for your units, and food per turn. It's wood per turn across your province. There's your happiness building, +7 happiness, and also lets you recruit spies. A royal palace there is going to let you recruit the envoy, as well as increase your influence in the province, and some growth buildings over there. The temples are going to let you recruit the priestess as well. So there's definitely there's agents in the game, and there's 3 sort of like bog standard agents. So you've got your envoy, your spy, and a priestess. And there's also epic agents, which are things like the Gorgon, the Satya, and the Seer, who have different sort of effects they can do, quite powerful effects. I think they're one-off use as well. You can only get those if you boost up your god worship to max rank. So I think you need to be worshipped up there at rank 3. So for example, if we do that with Athena, we can then get the enables recruitment of the Gorgon. There we go, and you get different bonuses depending on what rank your worship is at. And also you'll get disasters if you're not worshipping a particular god. So it's always good to keep your fingers in many pies, but getting all of your gods up to max rank is going to be very, very tricky. You can always do a prayer. That's going to give you a bonus depending on who you pray to. It's going to cost you some gold and food, though. And I think that gets better as you rank up your worship. And you also could do a hecatomb, which basically just boosts up it gives you an instant boost to your favor with any particular god, and the gods all have different benefits that you can get. I mean, getting things like Apollo is quite good if you've got a lot of missile units, a lot of archers, that kind of thing. But like Ares is going to boost up your melee attack for sword and axe units, which is pretty potent. And Zeus is going to do recruitment costs for heroes and agents. Grants Messenger of Thunder trait to newly recruited agents. Ooh, I don't know what that is, but that sounds exciting, doesn't it? Very fun. Okay, and of course we've got Menelaus down here, and being Sparta, Menelaus has has some unique units of his own. He's actually got these light spear runners, which are one of his unique units, and these guys are, brutal. Melee attack of 36, melee defense 57, damage of 80. They've got their own missile attack as well. And they're also light, so they're pretty fast, speed of 55. So they're quite good at getting around the flank of a unit, and they've got an improved flanking attack. So you want these guys sort of moving around, getting into the flanks of the enemy units, hitting them from the rear, that kind of thing, and that's going to do a lot of damage. Basically, they're good. They're very good. I do like my light spear runners. You might think, yeah, but they're light units, so they're like, trash. But actually, no. Light units, if anything, I think I like them. They're probably my favourite units that I've got, because they're fast, they can get around the flanks, they often have missile attacks. It's and they often chuck javelins, and I love my javelins. They're great. And this game's all about getting those flanking attacks. It really is. It's about getting your front, your heavy infantry right in the front, and then getting those light units around the flanks, and getting them in the rear and doing all the damage. That's what they need to be doing. And so I honestly think the light units that I've had are some of my favourite in the game. So looking at Menelaus, so his faction bonuses. So Menelaus himself is a king of Sparta. So he gets increased diplomatic relations with the Achaeans and reduced with, well, Hector, Paris, Pelagians, and Troy, as to be expected. He can also colonise settlements at range, basically. So one of his abilities is he's got these Spartan colonies, and you can click this button here, this bouton, and basically we can colonise stuff whenever we want. As long as we can see it, we can colonise that bad boy. So basically, just by spending some resources, we can just colonise whenever. We could colonise this thing over here if we wanted to. And in fact, I probably will, because there's a special building there that lets you recruit harpies, and harpies are bay. I'll be honest, I love my harpies. So that's pretty good. So you can just, and also doesn't cost units, doesn't cost your manpower to colonize buildings. So you can go, you just spend the resources. Your units don't get reduced to like 10% health or whatever it is. They stay at full health. So that's really useful. It means you can just keep colonizing. It's not going to slow you down, which is really, really nice. And the other bonus you get is Call to Arms, which basically allows you to recruit any units which your allied factions have access to. So if we have a look down here, we're allied with Mycenae, which of course is our brother Agamemnon. And if we go down here, we can see we can get the bows of Mycenae, which is his special unit, the Agamemnon's companions and Agamemnon's guards. And although it takes an additional turn to recruit these guys, as long as our allied faction can recruit them, so can we. And we can recruit them anywhere. Basically, any part of our territory, because normally factions, we don't have global recruitment, as far as I can tell. Menelaus' special ability is that he has global recruitment, so he can basically keep on the march. So I think Sparta's going to be a very quick faction. You can rush quite fast with them, because most factions do not have call to arms. They don't have global recruitment, so you can only recruit the units that are in the province that you're in. Whereas, of course, Menelaus, he can just get whatever he likes. Get some spearmen, sure. Get some club warriors, some skirmishers, some Laconian axemen, absolutely no problem. Okay, so we start off at war with these Spartan noble pretenders. And we've also got these guys down here who we're at war with. Now, after that, what I like to do is probably come down to Crete, because I feel like there's a lot of settlements down here. They're quite far away from anyone else. I mean, we don't really have many options for expansion in Greece itself, because if we actually go out and have a look at our attitude, we can see that actually most people neighbouring us actually really like us. They're all our fellow Greek factions, so actually they get on with us. So, we could maybe go on the attack, but I think a lot of these factions are probably... Yeah, so they've got non-aggression pacts with us and all that kind of stuff. So, to be honest, we probably need to be heading southward, and I like going down onto Crete and just capturing this stuff, because particularly there's Minotaurs here. And while we can't recruit them right off the bat, because I think you need... Now, which faction is it, or which god is it that you get... Is it Cyclops? Which one's that? That's such Satyr? Spartoi. Here we go. We need to get friendly with Zeus. We need to get friendly with Zeus, and then we can get a Minotaur. But we need to get him to worship. So that's a long game, pretty much. I don't think we can do that in 40 turns. I think that's going to take a little bit longer. So let's go down here and kill these guys. So, of course, we've got our light spear runners. That's one of our special units. And we've got a couple of Laconia Militia. They're fine. They're light. They're trash. They're expendable. We've got some Laconian Axemen. So these guys just good chargey, good charge bonus, good killy, all that kind of good stuff. And we've also got the Achaean Slingers, who are just kind of bog standard missile infantry. That's generally fine. And enemy-wise, they've got some light swordsmen, they've got some militia as well, they've got some spearmen, they've got some skirmishers as well, so javelins, and also some slingers of their own. But let's fight this one, because first battle of the campaign, it only makes sense. I was desperately hoping when we got the battle preview that the map we were fighting on wasn't a one-off, because I'll be honest, having played some Total War Warhammer 2 recently and been fighting on the Total War Warhammer 1 maps, God, some of them are so dull. Like, they're just literally featureless plains, sometimes with a slope, if you're lucky, and some trees, and that's about it. But then you look at these maps, and look at this. Look, it's got a cliff. It's got a bit of a choke point. And this, to be honest, is one of the more open maps that I've seen. You've actually got, like, terrain going on. Oh, it's so good. It's so exciting. Okay, what we got over here? So these are the enemy slingers, wearing some lovely tunics. Lovely red tunics. What are ours wearing? I bet they're white. Nope, brown. Sort of yellow. Orange, maybe? Bit tattered. They don't look as nice. But we're Spartans. Not those Spartans, though.
Forward march.
And here comes our militia. Just swordy boys. Basically got little shields, little spears, little swords, and ponytails, apparently. Sure, why not? That works. And there's the Axie boys. They're wearing little beanie hats with ponytails and carrying axes, which probably why they're called axemen, to be honest. That scans. That's good. And there's Menelaus himself. Very horny chap with a big old spear. Lovely big shield. Lovely. And where's my boys? My favourite lads. There we go. The Alight spear runners. They may not look like much. They look like they've skinned cows and are wearing them. And they probably are. But they're good. They're very, very good. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to switch them out to use two-hand spears. In a minute, they'll put their shields in the back. They'll lose a little bit of defense, but gain more melee attack. And our slingers are trying to engage the enemy slingers, but it's not going very well. We're kind of just trading with them. And it's not great. They've only got better tunics than we do, haven't they? Because we're Aegean slingers, aren't we? Aegean slingers, sorry. Are we better? Are we worse? I don't know. We've got more abilities. Is that better? Who knows? What is that ability we've got? I have no idea. Show how much attention I've been paying. None. What do we do? Oh, they're expendable. Okay, well, that is another ability. It's not necessarily a good ability. Okay, good. And over here we've got the enemy general. And there's 4 types of general.
The foe has sighted your hidden units.
Indeed they have. They spotted our cowboys.
Is under attack.
But oh, extreme acupuncture right to the back of the head. Nice. So there's 4 different sort of archetypes of general: Vanguard, Guardian, Protector, and Shooty boy. God, you can't tell who's who here. Militia v militia. Everyone's very confused. In goes the Axeman. So they're charging in against the light swordsman. And Menelaus is chasing after the enemy general. Now, each faction can only have 3 of the generals. So you always have one that's kind of like closed off. So, for example, Menelaus can't have the shooty boy. Oh! Not Dave! You killed Dave! You absolute bastard! Never mind. Okay, here's... Yeah, so... Jeez, look how fast they are. Look at them go. Sprinters, that's what they are. The light spear runners, we've switched out, so they've got the two-handed spears. And these guys are just going to cut their way through these skirmishers. There's the javelin infantry they've got our hands on. You can see just the numbers just climbing as they just chop them down. Or poke them rigorously. There we go, good stuff. And you can see the javelin sort of skirmishers are already just legging it. They've had enough. And that means we can start coming in and helping out our units. One of our units already run away. The Axeman's still holding the line for us. But now our light spear runners, after chasing the skirmishers for a little while, they're just going to try and hunt them down as many as possible. Going to swing round and come in and help our militia, who are kind of trading with these spearmen. They're losing, and the spearmen are winning. But it's not far off. But it's going to swiftly change as soon as our light spear runners get in the mix. As they come in and hit the rear of the spearmen, and you can see they just start melting. So getting flanking and rear charges, very, very important. in Total War Troy. You really want to get... In the battle preview, I don't think it was... It didn't feel as effective, but in this preview, it definitely feels very, very effective. You hit a unit in the rear, and they know it. So Light Spearrunners coming... already got almost 200 kills, and coming around to help out our poor Axemen, charging into the rear of these Light Swordsmen. And once again, you can see them. And, yeah, you can see that these units are just, like, fleeing through each other, and that's a bit of a bug that the devs have already said, yeah, we found that problem and it's been fixed, and it's only because I'm using the extra large or the max unit size. I think they said that's why they focused down the problem to. So that should be fixed in the release version. So I like Spearrunners getting in a mix, just mincing those Light Swordsmen. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Look at that, the Light Spearrunners getting up to 262 kills. This is why I love these guys. You just do some flanking. They're super fast, and they just hack everyone to death. Fantastic stuff. And there's Menelaus still fighting the enemy general. The generals are very, very tanky. They will just wail away at each other for quite a while. Apparently, sort of hero strength does sort of tail off against high-ranking units. They won't do as well, but obviously at the start, where you've got kind of like slightly low-ranking militia units and that kind of thing, they're quite tanky, and they're quite tanky against each other as well. But fortunately, we've managed to rout his entire army. So, oh, ow, Jesus! All right, buddy. Poor Menelaus. Menelaus doesn't start off with many abilities. He only starts off with one, which basically taunts an enemy unit, which isn't actually that effective. Can't use it against enemy generals either, but never mind, because he's legging it. Bye. It's gonna sting. So after each battle, you get these neat little fight scenes, which I quite like. It's quite nice. Let's go. Shall we take let's take the replenishment? I think. I don't think we need the extra food. The morale, probably not that useful. We'll just take them on. There we go. Indeed. And we've got a successful mission to defeat the Spartan noble pendants. That's going to give us a little bit of food and some bronze, which is very, very nice. And we need to muster the troops, so we need 12 units. We currently have 6, which is fine, and we've defeated those guys. It's all good. That guy's dead, and that faction is destroyed. That's all good. Indeed. And that now moves us quite nicely on to looking at actually what Menelaus has sort of skill-wise and equipment-wise. So there's Menelaus, so each of your generals will have this same sort of screen. So you can see the army upkeep, where he is, all of his stats, all that kind of good stuff, battle and campaign effects. You can also see his traits. So he's got lineage, he's a Homeric character, he's an epic hero, an adventurer, all that kind of good stuff. And it'll also have equipment. So I've currently got Menelaus' shield, which is a unique item, which gives more melee defense for the hero and more morale for all units in the army. He's also got a belt, so that's more morale for all units in the army, and also reduces his recovery time, which is not bad, quite nice. You can find a whole load of different things, and actually the bonuses are quite nice. For example, I found like I think it was a bronze dagger item, which increased my melee attack by, I think it was something stupid like 20. And, oh god, weapon strength as well. I can't remember what it was, but it was quite potent. And hand weapons, things like a javelin, which increases all your javelin troops' damage. I found like a short spear, I think it was something like that, and it just increased my damage. It's good stuff going on there. I quite like that. And then available skills. Interesting little skill tree here. So basically, you can take one of these big skills and then one of these smaller skills, and it will close off the other branch. So you can have one or the other. So for example, I quite like. Now, Assault and Battery is quite good, but it drains rage so fast. I'm tempted to go for Dread of Ares, because that reduces morale and stamina. I feel like that might be able to break a unit, and that could be quite important. So let's go for Dread of Ares. Let's go that one. Let's do that. And you can see that then closes off Assault and Battery, so we can't get that anymore. But we can then upgrade. So when he gains another level, we can then either upgrade to make it also have missile vulnerability, or melee attack. So it will reduce the melee attack of the unit. Alternatively, we could then pick one of these abilities. So you get some options, which is quite nice. Quite like that. So there's Menelaus all looking. It was a good day, wasn't it? I thought so. It was good. Now, so we're heading down towards Etis down here, and ideally we want to capture that. Now, I don't know how much it would cost. Right, so recolonisation would cost us 90 stone, 271 wood, and 452 food. Whereas, if we were to colonise it, 300... So, it's slightly more expensive, but not by much. So I think what we're going to do, actually, is we're going to recolonise this settlement at long range. Bosh. There we go. That's now recolonised, so we can upgrade it. Get the farming village there. It's going to give us a little bit of extra food per turn, which is all very good. And that means we can now start recruiting some units as well. So we'll get a couple of spear boys. So otherwise we would have just been left sort of standing there, not being able to do anything. But we've recolonised it at range, and now we can head down and recapture that. And we're going to be a turn ahead to go swim across this little island down here and capture this. I know there's an enemy army here, so we will want to go down and defeat them ASAP. Without anything left to do, apart from, of course, a royal decree. So this is kind of like your research tree. Now this is, each faction has the same one as far as I can tell. They do start off with different techs unlocked though. So you have kind of these key techs, and this just gives you a flat resource boost per turn. So you'll always have those resources. So for example, you'll always have 20 gold per turn once you get that tech, regardless of anything else you do. So that's quite nice. I quite like getting wood, because wood is very, very important to start off with. So we're going to grab that. There's a bunch of interesting techs. So if we go on Beasts of War here, it lets you to unlock the Trojan Horse Siege Tower. So that's quite interesting. Reduces enemy siege holdout time there. Increase to ammunition for missile units. There's happiness, influence, bonuses, +2 favour per turn for all the gods. So that's quite nice. +25% Aristia gained by heroes. What's that one? Golf bronze. 180 bronze per turn. Just another flat boost, which is quite nice. 80% melee attack for all heavy infantry units. +15% battle speed for all units. So that's all good. So a bunch of good stuff there. The techs do feel like very impactful. So there's a lot of stuff there. You're going to have a tough time to pick out what you're gonna grab first. Okay, let's just end the turn. Turn times are pretty fast. There seems to be a lot of factions, but it's still pretty fast. Okay, so we need to issue a royal decree. Well, we've just done that, so it's going to take a few turns to finish off. Maintain control of one province. Well, we're going to aim to do that anyway. So let's come down to Etis. And I'm going to grab a couple of you. Let's grab 3 of you. Let's do something like that. And we also are going to want... Now, we don't have access to wood at the moment, so we want food, basically. Food is going to be quite important. Let's just go for the arable land, because that's just a nice... It's fairly cheap. It's a nice boost to our food income, so we'll grab that. That means we can then recruit more units, which is kind of what we want to do. And there's not much else we can really do this turn. What I do like is the fact that in previous Total Wars, if you're kind of low on money, and to be honest, you generally want to try to recruit to the cap, right? So if you've got like 1,000 cash incoming a turn, you probably want to recruit enough army to get that down to as near as 0 as possible, because then you have more armies. You can then sort of expand faster. That means that often you have to make that choice between, do I want to build something or do I want to recruit something? In Total War Troy, resources are different. You're never going to have that trouble. You can recruit units, but you're also going to be gathering wood at the same time. So then you can spend that on building buildings. However, what I have noticed is that buildings are quite expensive. So it's quite important to actually think through what buildings you're building, your infrastructure, and it never feels like you've got enough stuff. Basically, you never feel like you have enough wood or enough stone to be building something. But we have actually got a mission issued here to construct a new building, which is good, because that's what we're doing. And also... we've got another much to upgrade a settlement building, which we're doing as well. It's good. We could go for the extra growth, but I don't think we need it right now. I would quite like to build a temple, but we don't have the wood. I have to wait another turn. Do I want to wait another turn, or do I want to go for the vineyard? I think we're okay. I'm going to be a bit... No, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get some... Because stone is one of those things that you don't need right away, but when you do need it, you wish you had it. So I'm going to build a stone mine... Miners tents. Yep, so miners tents. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to get some spears. Hopefully our food will be up and running fairly soon. I want to get at least 15 boys. Let's go to... Hello. What's this? What's this shenanigans? Okay, so we've got that. Right, so that's going to give us some food, some extra bronze, which is quite nice. We've constructed a building. That's going to give us more wood and stone. That's also quite nice. It's going to give us a nice early boost. We could actually go for the boat stands, because that's going to give us a little bit extra food and also resources across the entire province. Let's do that. And I'm going to do something like that. So that's going to give us 14. That's probably enough. What we'll do is we'll set sail down south and we'll go and take this settlement. And that's going to, again, complete the set. And that means we're going to have then food income, stone income, and wood income. But we won't have any bronze income. But we don't need bronze income right away. It kind of comes in later as a resource that you kind of need. Okay, let's set sail. We're going to land. Yes. Okay, you're just gonna sit by the coast, just in your boat. That's fine. You kind of beached yourself, but don't worry. That's it's fine. It's dark. I do like the way that the day changes and that you get the little moon shining on the sea, which is really nice. But it's dark, so no wonder you crashed into the. There's no lighthouses. A distinct lack of lighthouses. Shameful. So we need to start a single turn with 20 units and a single army. Can do. That should be no problem.
I've a wrong to right.
Yeah, well, indeed. Gonna kill these jerks. Now, what do these guys have? They've got lots of spears, and they've got some militia, they've got slingers, all that kind of bad stuff, and some young spears as well. Our army is smaller, but it's a settlement battle, so I reckon we should be fine. Plus, we've got Menelaus. Big old beard. Look at this tiny little beard he's got. That's rubbish. Big beard, little beard. Yep, that'll help. So the minor settlement battles, they don't have walls, but there are plenty of choke points. And there's various different minor settlement battle maps. I've seen a fair few, and I think they change depending on. In fact, I'm 95% sure they change depending on sort of how big the settlement is. I've seen some really interesting ones where you've kind of got sort of a cliff face in the city, and the city centre is sort of like up on the cliff face, and you have to kind of go around and up to get up to it, and that can be quite tricky. It's very difficult to break into these settlements, especially if they've got like a lot of missile units, because they will be like hammering you as you try and smash into the city. We're going to start trying to just whittle down some of these spearmen by chucking stones at them, because we've got some of our slingers. We've got quite a few slingers, and we're going to start just opening fire, doing a little bit of damage there. Of course, these guys are shielded. The AI is quite smart in that it will put the shielded units out in the front and keep.
Is under attack.
Yeah, he's fine. He's just getting hit in the back of the head by our own stones. That's fine. And they tend to keep their sort of like non-shielded units inside the city. So these young spears here don't have shields, so they're keeping them inside the city. It's quite smart. We've got some militia on this flank over here. Pretty much a sacrificial. And on this right flank, we've got our light spear runners hidden in the grass, because there does seem to be an entryway into the city. But I don't want to send my light spear runners directly into this, because that would probably end up with them getting very deaded. So what we're going to do is we're going to soften up some of these units with slingers, and once they're softened up, we will then send in some of our units to sort of engage in the centre here. We'll bring in the militia on this flank as well, and hopefully what that'll do is start like pulling in other, as we start pushing into the city, they'll start pulling in more and more units to try and hold this this entrance into the city. And at that point we can then start moving the light spear runners in, hopefully catching like these slingers or maybe these militia units, just kind of like hunting them down. And maybe once we've got them panicking inside this sort of like this little entrance here, if they start like coming back to try and deal with the spearers, when we can bring some more units in, sort of like pin them between them, and hopefully get entrance into the city that way. So we've started whittling these guys down. Of course they are shielded, so they're not taking as much damage from the slings as potentially they could do. if we were just hitting some units that didn't have shields, so they're a little bit defended from it, but they're still taking some damage. Still getting a little bit whittled down. We just want to soften them up, basically. They do have 2 generals. They've got a fighter champion over there, and this guy is a warlord warmonger. So that's a champion, that's a warmonger, and the fighter and warlords are the subtype, I think. I think that's how it works. Because we've only got 40 turns, I haven't really got that far into the game. We've only had it for a few days as well, so there's probably so much stuff I haven't seen yet. But of course they did give it to all the Total War content partners, so I'm sure that other content partners have probably seen things that I haven't, so certainly go and check them all out. I do know some of them said they'd seen the giant units, so that might be quite fun. Because I haven't seen those yet. I haven't managed to get around to getting up there. So these militia, they are shielded, but they're a bit squishy, so they're taking quite a lot of damage from our slingers. That's good. We're sitting in spears now. In come the spearmen to engage their spearmen. But we have softened them up a little bit, so we should win that engagement, but it is going to be slow. We're going to bring in Menelaus as well. He's going to taunt this unit. As you can see, they force their way through our unit as well, because of being a little bit slippery. And now it's just a mess. Just a mess. Menelaus is getting prodded. He's okay. We do want him to go down and deal with this enemy general, because otherwise that enemy general would just sort of just hack his way through our units. We don't want that. And our slingers are now concentrating their fire on the spearmen over here, and our light spear runners just prepping to get inside the city. These militia units, we'll send them in, but they're very, very sacrificial. So we will bring them into the city. And again, this map just looks so good. Like, I love all the choke points. I love that. Oh, it's so good. It's very pleasing. This is very pleasing. And there's Menelaus dealing with the enemy. Ooh, got a nasty bump in the head there. God, God knows what happened. God knows what happened. So militia are getting a lot of stones chucked at them. How's it going, guys? Just, yeah, it's not... God, wear a shirt, guys. You're going to get sunburned. Gonna get sunburn. Okay, our spear runners now moving into the city. We've drawn away some of these units. You can see some of them now moving in to try and help out with our attempt to breach into the city. So our light spear runners getting some early hits in against the Achaean stingers, and we can then go in and engage the spearmen here. The militia has broken, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring in some units from this front, move them around to come and help the light spear runners, and open up this sort of entrance into the city. Because if we can get round and help out this sort of like blob over here, if we can get into the rear of this blob, then we should be able to break in and towards the city centre over there. Our militia is already engaged, but I think they're just there. They're fighting the spearmen, and basically we're going to probably trade with them and not manage to break in. But we're keeping these units busy, which is probably the main thing. So our light spear runners have engaged the spearmen, and we've got another unit of spearmen moving in to hit these guys in the back. Our light spear, I mean, they will. Winning decisively, of course they are. No problem. And here comes our spearmen, backs up by our slingers, trying to move in and engage the enemy slingers at range. Get them in the rear there, and you can see, yep, that unit starts taking a lot of damage. Its morale's dropping, just hovering in the positive, just about, for the moment. And our slingers trying to deal with the enemy Achaean slingers, but there's a unit of militia coming back to the fight, so it looks like they're moving in to attack us in the rear. So our light spear runners are going to turn around and actually just engage them in what's going to be a very, very short fight, because they are no contest for our light spears, getting absolutely minced. So the spearmen here, having been sandwiched between our light spear runners and our spearmen, have taken so much damage that they are not going to stick around for much longer. And our light spear runners can then move in and finish them off, finish off some of these units as well. There's a big old blob battle going in. We're going to move in. I mean, our poor old spearman, and that hero is just taking big chunks out of our army, which is not ideal. Menelaus is dealing with this one slowly, and we're going to try and get these axemen into this little blob over here, trying to help out that a little bit. Get in there, lads. Unfortunately, enemy units coming in from their flank as well. These young spears. But we've managed to look at this. We're inside the city now. We've managed to push back these units, and our spears and our light spear runners coming around to try and help out over here. This is not going particularly well. This is going okay. Menelaus is dealing with the enemy hero, and that's helping out. These young spears trying to charge our axemen in the rear, but we just managed to catch them with our spearmen. So that's fine, but we're kind of hitting the flank over there. So this is a bit of a problem. But here come our spearmen to back us up. So they've charged us in the flank. We're going to charge them in the rear, and everyone's going to get very confused about what's going on. So there we go. So this is an almighty mess. And our Stinger's going to concentrate fire on this little blob over here, because that seems pretty useful. And our light spear runner's now coming towards the city centre. There are some skirmishers there, but we should be okay, because he's raining down stones on top of their little heads. And that's going to cause some panic. You can see their morale is quite low. They're not happy. It's a bit of a grind fest as we desperately try to push our way into the city, and they keep throwing units in our way. You can see the enemy hero has been debuffed with the dread of Ares, so he has lost a little bit of morale, but he's still holding on. But he's lost a little bit of stamina as well. Going to try and tucker him out. Over here, yeah, we haven't managed to force our way into the city. We have done some damage to the spearmen, but not nearly enough. And our light spear runners just chasing down these skirmishers, trying to push them. We've pushed them out of the city centre. So we've managed to sort of like capture that, but we can't capture it unless there's a unit on top of it. And unfortunately, we don't want to leave these javelins to open fire on us, so we need to deal with them. Fortunately, our light spear runners are just the best of the best. That 59 melee defense, they're just hacking their way through these skirmishers, no problem. There's absolute carnage over here as we desperately try and force our way into the city. It's not looking particularly good for us, though. You can see our spears taking a lot of damage. That champion has racked up 86 kills. Our skirmishers are running low on ammunition. Spearmen trying to force their way in to help out. We have got them surrounded, though. We have got them surrounded on all sides, so I mean we should be doing okay. And it does look like we've almost dealt with the enemy general. Oh, good. Oof. Nice job, Menelaus. Look at that. Knocked him out. Got him down. Is he regenerating? How does he do that? Oh, because he's got Aristea, that's why. So he's healing up. Lovely. I didn't know Aristea did that. Had no idea. Wasn't paying attention.
One of your units has no more ammunition.
No matter. And our light spear runners are basically just... They're trying to hold on to that city centre, and they're doing okay, actually. A lot of these units are routing. They're taking a little bit of fire from the stingers over here. Fortunately, our militia has come back and managed to sneak in through an entrance that wasn't guarded. I need them to deal with those stingers over there. They are bringing units back to try and fend off my light spear runners, but with 300 kills, you can tell that they're going to have to throw a lot at them to actually take them out of the fight. Menelaus needs to go and deal with his enemy hero because he's just been hacking his way through our spearmen, which isn't ideal. And we've got a bit of a mess going on over here as our units try and head for the city centre and try and chase down their units. And I'm just going to bring our slingers in to chase down fleeing units because it seems like the easiest thing to do. Spearmen now moving into the city centre, being backed up by some of our axemen. And the light spear runners continuing just to basically be the MVPs of this battle, engaging yet another unit of spearmen and winning decisively. And it looks like our militia's coming in to engage those slingers. As long as it keeps them busy, I don't really care. I'm fine with that. A unit of spears over here, a little bit surrounded, but they're doing okay. Oh, good. Spearmen coming into the city centre. We're capturing the city centre. You can see it's now slowly flipping over to our side. I need some. If I can get some more units of light spear runners, God, that would make battles so much easier. I mean, 341 kills, and here comes some young spears. We're going to engage them as well. I mean, they're winded, but it's just no biggie for them. They're just going to take them down, yet losing decisively. Light spear runners and harpies are the best. So I just love the light units. I think the heavy units are great. The medium units are, they're fine. They're kind of like a hybrid between the two. But the light units, they're the ones that are going to get around the flanks. They're going to do the damage. It's all that kind of good stuff. That's what I like. And this is a bit messy as units try and flee through us and succeed. Again, because the units are quite slippery, thanks to that bug. I mean, it's a bit annoying, but it doesn't really cause too many problems because it kind of works for you as well. So we're going to hit these young spears in the flank, and they're going to get minced as they try and desperately recapture the city, which is almost flipped over to our side. And there we go. The enemy army is now breaking and shattering.
Is close enough to taste.
It really is. Look at that. And our light spear runners finishing the battle with 420 kills. Iconic. It's a little bit dicey. A little bit dicey, but we won. One all the same, which is good. Let's occupy that one. We have claimed Cythera. That one. We've got Tydeus' shield, featuring a full moon depicted against a starry sky. A tribe leader's shield is a defensive focal point for warriors to rally around. +4 armor for all units while besieging, and +4 melee defense for hero. Okay, which is good. That guy's dead. All that kind of good stuff. Now, because we've already got a shield, we can't equip this one, I guess. Yep. So that one's probably better. So we'll keep that one. But we can always give that to someone else, and then we can upgrade some bits. So we've got a muster field here. We've already got one, so we're going to knock that down. Building up our wood supply would be incredibly useful. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to set sail down to Crete down here. But through the magic of time travel, we're going to jump ahead a little bit, a few turns, to a campaign where I've done just that. So here we are on lovely Crete, and there's Menelaus with his 19 boys. It's all very good. And he's also level 11. We've got some skill points to actually spend, which I need to do. And we've got a bunch of other stuff going on as well. So we can actually have a look back at Sparta, and we can see we've been building things up. So we've actually got quite a bit of food coming in here. We've got an altar of Poseidon as well. I don't know why I picked Poseidon, just kind of fancied it. We've got a winemaker, and we've got some access to spies as well. I should have been, to be honest, I've learned a lot since I played this campaign, and I really should have built things up a little bit faster than I actually have been doing. But we've captured this territory as well. So we've got a little recruitment base there. We've got, there's more wood. We've got a gold pit as well, so we can actually have a look at the gold pit, and we can see that the deposits, there's 4,448 deposits left. So that's as much as we can mine out, and then we'll only get 10% of the total. But we're not mining very much at the moment, to be honest, because I haven't really got around to upgrading anything. So we're really only mining, I think, 12 a turn, I want to say. Mining, 25 a turn. There we go. We're mining 25 a turn. Oh, yes, because we've got this one as well. Yeah, so we're mining a little bit, but not a huge amount per turn, to be honest. But it's trickling in. And that's looking pretty good. We've got on the farm as well, and we've gone and captured this stuff as well. So we're going to look here. We've actually got the bronze smith, because of course bronze being one of those resources that you just directly mine out of the ground. Sure. No, don't think about it too hard. It's fine. And so we've got what was it? A bronze smith doobie-doo thing, stonemason. That's the bronzesmith. Bronzesmith lodge. There we go. So that's actually reducing the growth here, but because I don't have the capital settlement, it's not really a big deal. I'll probably switch that over at some point to get the growth back, because that's a bit of a deficit to deal with. But we've got these guys. Who are these guys? Oh, Knossos. They've got Knossos. We've got their last settlement under siege. They've got a fair few defensive units. They've even got a ruddy Minotaur in there. That's not good. Holy crap, a Minotaur. But we have some Harpies. And the reason we've got to have some Harpies, if we just come out of... Just continue the siege. Continue the siege. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. The reason we've got that is because we've actually got Menelaus over here. I resettled it. And it's actually got this little bonus here, so the Harpies can be recruited in this region. There's a fair few sort of like island settlements which have that. So I know there is... Where are we? Where's Troy? Over here. So I know these two settlements over here. I think all of these settlements on this little island here have the ability to recruit Harpies. And you can build the Harpy recruitment building, and that actually gives you the ability to... It gives you some unit capacity for Harpies. And if you can then upgrade to the max one, so obviously you need a provincial capital to do that, but you can then get the Harpy Fiends, and the Harpies are a really good unit. So you can get Harpies. I think you can get, like, is it Giants? I think you get Giant Vanguard, I think. Let's see what else we can see. Unique buildings there. Giants can be recruited here. There we go. So there's Giants over there. And what else was there? Centaurs as well. I think we saw Centaurs in the battle preview, didn't we? That's quite good. There's Minotaurs. Oh, there's Giants over there. Is that Giants? Giants can be recruited there. Yeah, okay. Okay. And then over here, of course, we've got the Minotaur building. So Minotaur-related buildings can be constructed in a settlement. But recruiting a Minotaur requires level 3 Cult of Zeus. But apparently the garrison gives you a Minotaur anyway. So that's fun. Oh, we've got a Labyrinth Garden. 9 gold a turn. Favour of Zeus 160. Plus 5 mana defense for hero. Okay, that's quite nice, isn't it? So we definitely want that. It is going to mean killing a Minotaur, though, which is going to be a little bit tricky. But we still need 1 turn for the battering ram. So we're going to hold off doing anything. We're going to just continue the siege there. We've actually got a priestess in this army. There's our priestess. Carpathia. Priestess of Poseidon, I guess, considering that's the building we've got. Although I don't think it actually matters. She is a follower of Poseidon. Yes, that's right. Because much like any agent, when you recruit them, they have a trait, and I just happened to pick the one that was Poseidon because I figured that just kind of worked quite well. We've also got her embedded in the army. She's increasing casualty replenishment for the army, which is quite nice. And she also gets skills, so agents get skills. We haven't actually got any skill points for her yet, but gets various different skills available. Quite nice. Plus 1,000 army experience from presence of priestesses upon successful action on own settlement. Okay, not 100% sure how that works, but that sounds quite good. We've also got a spy. It's this guy here. What's his name? Oh, he's a romantic. So minus 20% cost for action cost for this agent. So that's quite nice. They can also get followers or items as well. And you can see the different abilities that he can actually do down there. And of course, he's got his own skill tree, which is all very good. Right, so we've got some skill points for Menelaus. So I have been giving him a bunch of skills. So we can see all the skills he's got. And we've got some of them available here. Plus 10 morale for hero. Not particularly overly bothered by that one. Plus 20 melee attack when fighting against factions from the Trojan culture. Interesting, but we're not doing that right now. So, minus upkeep for Menelaus' elite units. That sounds quite nice. Plus 4% melee defense for all units in this army. Now that sounds good. That sounds very good. Do we want to do that? What else we got? So that's Divine Challenger, so that's the Taunt ability. That's casualty replenishment rate would be quite nice. So I'm thinking we maybe go with that one. We've got 3 skill points to spend, so I'm going to go with that one. Oh, I've already got it, that's why. Looks so good, I already got it. Good. Plus 3 replenishment when units in hero's army when in enemy territory. So does that mean we can replenish in enemy territory? That sounds quite good. Should we take that one? Let's take that one. Let's do that. And, ooh, Olympian Throw. Throws a spear causing damage. Holy shit, yes. Amber Spear, best ability in the game. More damage or lower cooldown? I mean, more Amber Spears, right? Sure. 2 Amber Spears better than 1. We'll grab that that baby. Excellent. We've spent all of our woods. We've currently got 1,000 coming in a turn, but most buildings cost around about 1,000, so it's not coming in that fast. I really should have upgraded my wood buildings. Do I have more? How many wood buildings do I have? Just the one, but there's another one over here. This faction. This is kind of my problem. I look at my resources and I'm kind of go, I need more stuff. I need more. And I see my neighbouring faction. I go, oh look, they've got wood. They've got wood. I need wood. I need their wood. Give me your wood. I want your wood now. Good. Okay, so let's just hit next turn. So obviously this being a provincial capital has walls. We're also going to see a Minotaur in action, which is terrifying. I'm also at war with a bunch of people who do not like me, which is a bit of a problem. Yep, you're landing on my coast. That's pretty bad. That's not going to lie. That's pretty bad. I do have another army. Which is good. So we've got the settlement besieged, hostile action. That's fine. Don't really care about that. Okay, here's my other army. So we've got Aklemon. He's currently got a light bronze tipped javelin, which increases his javelin abilities. That he doesn't have any javelin in his army, and he's also got some armor. That's good. And so one of the things that there is supply lines in this game, and it's quite a hefty. So currently we're playing on normal difficulty. So normal difficulty is the only one we have access to. So it's normal. So normal campaign difficulty, normal battle difficulty. And the army upkeep increase per army is 30% food and 1% bronze. Now, I think that's a bit punishing at early game, I think. Now, currently we're on turn 31. I have managed to get a second army up, but obviously, you know, we've burned through our food quite fast. Now, I'm sort of like on the fence about this because I did some quick sort of like math on how much food we could actually produce, and looking at just Sparta province itself, we can, in theory, produce over 3,000 food just in this one province, based on obviously our farming colony, based on the fact that we've got docks in 3 of our minor settlements, and they increase food, and then increasing like percentages and that kind of stuff, because obviously the docks increase 7% per dock. We can get a building here which increases food by 15%, and then we can also get these buildings here which increase resources by 20%. So theoretically, if we do that and max out our food, we can make about 3,000 food in just one province. That's a lot of food, right? I mean, considering that the additional army, I think, costs... Does it actually say how much the army cost? 946. So the additional upkeep is 946. Now, realistically, that's not even one province's food, right? So I reckon you can probably get to a point where... actually, the amount of food you've got is pretty hefty. Also, notice the as you go through the fog of war, kind of burns back. I love that. That's a really nice effect. It's very good. Okay, so we're just gonna skedaddle through here. Okay, we're going to try and land and deal with that before they reach us. But the reason I wanted to jump ahead a bit was kind of, you know, show you kind of like, you know, what later on looks a little bit like, because it's, you know, what Total War games are like. We only had a set amount of time we could record, and I wanted to sort of show some different settlement battles as well. And we've got the settlement battle here. Nice wall settlement. We've got a battering ram, which is very good, and we're up against a Minotaur in this army. So let's take Colossus and get me a Minotaur. So we're fighting a little wall siege settlement, one of the two, and they're quite tricky. It's quite tricky to break your way into a wall settlement, but they look great. And people who were like, "Oh, I need a 360-degree siege." Well, you got it, 360-degree, and with a really interesting map. You know what? It reminds me of Total War Arena, this sort of map, and I love the maps in Total War Arena. Gone too soon, but it's just really interesting and huge. I mean, just huge. it's a big old map. Lots of choke points, so you can fall. Once you've lost the walls, you've got options, right? I mean, you could try and like fend off the enemy here. You could have archers up along this path over here. I mean, you need to like hold the. I mean, you could get behind them. You could have units attacking these walls over here. I've decided to just go for frontal attack. I'm going to send my militia in, basically to get shot. I don't know if they'll actually get to the walls because they've only got these teeny little shields to defend themselves. So and they're wearing mini dresses, which may look fabulous, but I don't know how effective it is at deflecting arrows. So I guess we'll see how that goes. It's a big old scary Triceratops. Sure, that's what it is. That's what that is. Absolutely. So you've got some shielded spearmen and archers up on the wall. Yeah. Our militia's getting. How's it going, guys? You okay? That guy's got an arrow through his head. That's. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to assume that's not ideal. So you don't need to live that long because the rams do a lot of damage. So just hold on. Knock knock. Let me in. Not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin. And the rest of our army now moving up. Are they going to survive? They've got one morale. And they have managed to take down the gate. Good job. Nice work. So there's two enemy generals here. We've got here of a fighter ravager. I think fighter's the main type and ravager is the... Yeah, so they're both fighters. One's a ravager, one's a champion. There we go. And then we've got a minotaur as well. Look at this boy. He's a good boy. He's a good axey, horny boy. He is. So we're going... Yes. So the magical ladders have made a reappearance. So order your men up onto the wall and they will make their own ladders instantly. Pluck them out of their pockets. We're going to bring our light spear runners and our harpies. Now, I love the harpies. The harpies are basically javelin ladies. Light infantry, they've got pretty good melee attack and defense. Not much in the way of armor, but they don't really need it. And their javelins are very, very potent, and also they cause demoralization as well. So basically, they get hit, anything that gets hit by javelins loses leadership, which is quite nice. So we're going to send our light spear runners up onto the walls. Kind of trying to get them around behind the enemy army. Menelaus has broken through into the city with some spearmen. So far, so good. The Minotaur is... he's going to be tough to deal with because he's very, very killy. The Minotaur's very, very killy and very, very tough to deal with. You can see he's right in the midst there. He's taken a little bit of damage, but he's also killed 23 people. So I find the best way to deal with Minotaur is extreme acupuncture. So bringing our harpies into the city, you can see how fast they move. They are a very, very fast unit. 64 speed. Even faster than the light spear runners. And with javelins. Double good. So they've pulled some units back towards the city. There's currently no units defending the city centre, which I think is a bit of a mistake on their part. Some of their slingers... Our slingers... I'm just leaving my slingers to their own devices. I'm just going to let them do whatever they... just sit there, shoot things. It'll be fine. Probably. Menelaus fighting the enemy general. The fighter ravager. And we're continuing just to rain stones down upon the enemy inside the city. Not probably doing a huge amount of damage, but it's not really a big deal. The harpies. Now, I should have turned off skirmish mode on them, because skirmish mode makes them do weird things, like run into the enemy rather than away from them. They try and move away from the enemy and then run straight into another unit. But ideally, I want to shoot this Minotaur with as many javelins as possible. Because javelins... Minotaur's very weak to javelins. You can see I've debuffed him with the Dread of Ares, hoping that my harpies are going to get some shots off on him. He's up to 68 kills, though. He is... Jeremy's dead. Poor Steve. Okay, we're getting some javelins in. Not enough, though. And also we managed just to kill one of our own guys. Never mind. Our harpies are in here. I don't know why the harpies are in here. I didn't notice that. But they shouldn't be. Probably not. Probably harpies should not be meleeing a Minotaur. Ideally. You know. Ideally. But because the harpies have got such good melee attack, they're actually pretty good at hunting down units like slingers. So we can actually bring our harpies in, hack down these slingers, and then when they start to run away, we can chuck javelins in their back. So that's fun. I mean, not for the slingers, obviously. It's terrible for them. But who cares about what they think? So we've actually got some harpies moving deeper into the city. They're actually chasing down some bowmen. But what I'm going to do is actually bring them up into the city centre. It's going to take them quite a while to get up there, but they're quite fast. So no biggie. Dropping a heal. I think that's a heal. Are they healing? No, vanquish. More charge bonus and more speed. Not great when you're already engaged in combat, but never mind. Ladies, you probably don't want to be melee. I mean, don't kick a Minotaur. He's... Don't... Yeah, maybe get out of there. That's it. Let's get our ladies out of there because they're not doing great against the big old Minotaur. Yes, together, sisters. Indeed. Good. Now chuck javelins at his back. There we go. That's what you can see. Just his health just plummets as he gets extreme acupuncture to the back. Come on, girls. There we go. That's how you kill a Minotaur. Lots and lots of javelins. And his morale has dropped quite considerably. And we should be able to break him. And he is actually rousing. There we go. After only killing 101 people. That's fine. There's a harpies. Harpies now moving up towards the city centre. So it's good speed. So they are more than...
One of your units has no more ammunition.
I think that's the slingers, but that's not really a big deal because they won't really do much damage to start off with. We actually have an ability that heals up our units, so we drop that on our units. That's going to heal up our boys. Kind of like a vampire resurrect spell, kind of. I think it actually does resurrect the units, so a bit weird, but never mind. How's this? Is
the foe has sighted your hidden units.
Okay, bad times, but are we gonna? That's it. Give him a good old chop. No, don't. Don't get stabbed in the back. That's bad. You got this, buddy. I think Menelaus is fine there. That's okay. And our harpies heading up towards the city centre, and you can see you actually got some units down here. And I think I paused to chuck some javelins at them just for funsies. Yep. So you can use this. You can use this sort of like cliff face here just to rain javelins down your enemies, which is quite fun. But we're not going to stop. We're going to get up to that city. Oh, good. Finally, Menelaus has dealt with him. That's good. Are we still being healed? Nope, it's dropped off. There we go. We've actually managed to deal with all of the units at the gates. We forced our way into the city, made a breach, and quite a few of the... Indeed, most of the enemy units now fleeing or trying to rush back to the city centre. I think heading for the city centre has actually panicked a couple of these units. They're trying to make it back to the city centre. So there's a couple of shielded spearmen heading back there. And I'm going to let my light spear runners just chase down some units, go and finish off these renowned slingers. How about that? Renowned slingers. Ooh. Not just slingers, but renowned for slinging. Fair enough. So in go our harpies. They're at the top of... I was wondering if maybe they had left a unit to defend this, but apparently not. They had not. So I think heading towards it caused the AI to go, oh shit, I don't have anyone there. So they're racing shielded spearmen back to try and help out. But of course these guys, not very fast. Only 27 speed because they're tired. They're not tired. Why are they only 27 speed? This is how fast the unit moves. Yes, I know, but why... Why only 27? They're very, very slow. No biggie. We're just going to wait for them and then chuck javelins at them. Basically, they can either retake the city centre or they can chase my harpies. They can't do both. They don't have the ability to do both things. So, again, I probably should have taken skirmish mode. Skirmish mode is just... is a pain in the arse. It never works that well. Minotaur is he shattered or is he just broken? Nope, he's shattered. He's gone. He's gone. It looks like he's wearing flares. You gonna stab in the back or yep? get a quick swing in. Fair enough. Okay, here come these shielders. Now, obviously, we're not doing too much damage to the front of them because they're shielded. So we're going to pull back once I turn off skirmish mode, because they try and run in this direction, which is actually closer to the enemy. We do actually, yeah, there we go. I've turned it off, and we're now running away. And these guys are then going to try and retake the city. And then as soon as they stop chasing us, I'm going to turn around and chuck javelins at their face until they die. But it does seem like most of the enemy units have broken. It's just the last few. There's still maybe some archers here, but I'm not particularly worried about the archers. I'm sending as many units as possible up into the city centre to help out the Harpies. But you can see, I don't think they really need much help because these guys have rather stupidly decided to face away from me, which probably not very sensible when I'm chucking javelins at them. But, you know, works for me. I think the sound's bugged out. That is a bug that they're aware of. But sometimes the music bugs out, and sometimes just the general sound bugs out, so that's fun. There we go. Lots of javelins to the back. Probably should turn around, guys. Just throwing that out there, along with the javelins. Okay, so these guys have pretty much lost half their units. There's another unit of shielded spearmen, but here comes some axemen to axe them a question. And yeah, these guys, demoralised, filled with javelins, rethinking their life choices. They're out of here. And these Harpies are racking up the kills. 161 kills. Actually running low on ammunition for some of our units. Oh, these Harpies have run. Oh, there's another general. He's wavering, but he's coming up this way. But there's just this one, really just this one unit of shielded spearmen still holding on, but not long enough, because here come our Harpies. They're going to take the city, and then they're going to chuck some javelins in these guys back, just for good measure. Ooh, I mean, that was against quite a small opponent as well. I mean, they only had four units and then the garrison, so that was a tough fight. Lost our axemen and some slingers, but we won the city anyway. Look at that, that's pretty good. I'm liking that. We'll occupy.
Hard work pays off.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it really does. And that guy's dead. We've got Ida, and that faction is destroyed. And do we have the nice old... Oh, we've got an altar of Aphrodite as well. That's quite nice. So we should have the... No, not you. Go back in your box. Go back in your box. So we should have special. Here we go. Labyrinth Palace. Yeah, so we can build a Labyrinth Garden and the Labyrinth Palace. So that's going to give us more favour for Zeus. Give us the garrison, plus 10 melee attack for heroes. Own heroes faction wide. So you get more melee attack and defense for your heroes. That's really nice. And of course the gold's quite nice. Oh, we definitely want to build that. That's very, very exciting. And they've got some more wood over here, which we definitely want, because need their wood. I also need to fend off this attack. That's unfortunate. Is it Athens? Athena? Is it Athens? Am I at war with Athens? I'm at bloody war with Athens, aren't I? Look at them, bloody owl lovers. God, nothing worse than people who love owls. Never mind. We'll beat them back. We'll beat them back with good old that guy, Laconia. He's great. He's great. And obviously need to build up our buildings over here and get more resources and build more stuff, build more armies, and it'll be all good. But there we go. So just a quick little look at the Menelaus campaign in Total War Troy, and it's looking pretty good. I really like this. I really like the resources. I like the infantry battles. It's hitting a spot for me, and hopefully we'll be able to show you more of it fairly soon. But I'll have to wait until next time. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.